Alright guys, show you what I got. Trail coming up this way where I had that bed and that buck rub at. And trail here. You can see maybe it makes it X right here. And right here there's another trail that comes in. Another trail here, another one here, another one here. There you can see mock scrape right in the center of it. Good height for the does and fawns. Literally have to walk through it. Have to go around it, hit it, whatever on both sides. And this is the problem I had last year is I didn't do that. I put it on one trail just off to the side. And I still had deer hit it, but not enough. So hopefully this will change. Keep everybody updated. All it took was a stick, a little bit of rope, and a vine. Hey guys, this is Josh Stambaugh from Michigan Hunting Adventures. And I'd like to talk to you a little bit about mock scrapes. Now, when I first started doing mock scrapes a couple of years ago, I noticed that even no matter what I tried, drips, just typical licking branch with a little bit of pee, gels, all that stuff, I would always have a negative over a positive in the outcome. And it wasn't until a few years ago I came across some videos of whitetail habitat solutions, and it just kind of opened up my eyes, and it made a lot of sense with the soil and being as natural as you can and the areas and all that stuff. And I started doing those, and I've had more luck with them. And I'd like to just kind of show you how I do them and what I do, and hopefully you guys learn something from it and just maybe give you a little more insight. Now, first thing to note is that these aren't necessarily attractants to deer. They're more of trying to dictate movement. You're trying to bring a buck 30, 40, 50 yards closer than what he's already moving. Now this spot directly from to the south, it has a cedar swamp about 100 yards. Directly to the east, there's the road, which is 80 to 100 yards. And then north of that, there's a food plot about 150 yards. And then west of that, there's a pond and then a pinch, which is kind of where that movement funnels down into. So these deer could come from anywhere out of that swamp in there. And that's why I'm putting this here, is to try and dictate that movement more to one area. And another thing to note is this mock scrape is directly placed on top of 4 trails that come together. That's another big thing too, is you need to make sure that when you're putting these on that they're directly over a deer's path. And as you can see in this one, it's much more easier to see it, how it's placed over a deer's trail. This one's in another pinch. It's got food plots on either side, east and west of it, about 200 yards, and then the other's 120 yards or so, and then it's got that swamp about 200 yards to the southeast, and then some thick bedding all in front to the north. So it's a good funnel, kind of X movement, if you will, inside of all of that. And like I said, we've had a lot of deer come through in different areas, sometimes through here, and we're just trying to pinch that movement down more and give ourselves a better chance with a bow or trail cam footage, whatever it might be. Now, what I'm doing right here is I'm trimming out any sort of branch that might get in that deer's way. For instance, if he's got his head on that branch and he decides to turn his back end counterclockwise or clockwise, he has all the room to spin around in that circle and work that licking branch. And that's another thing too. That's probably the most important thing of this whole scrape, is that licking branch. And what I'm not going to sit here and say that I've tried to figure out what branches this and that. I'd learned from Jeff Sturgis, vines seem to be one of the biggest things, and they hold scent better. They don't break. They don't deteriorate as quick. And luckily we found a couple of those, and I threw them up, and the one worked pretty good. I didn't throw a camera on it because Cameras were kind of the same thing. I had issues with how to set those up and would always have deer spook, and I'm starting to get better with that, so I'll definitely try and get more footage of stuff like that. But when it comes to scent, this is pretty much it right here. What you're watching is bare soil. Try and get the dirt up and freshen it up. Maybe with my own pee, I've noticed that deer scents and stuff, it's half the time it's not even deer scent. So we've had pretty good luck with the pee. The ammonia in it, it changes within 20 minutes, and it's a deer can't tell if it's human or not. So sometimes I'll do that, and sometimes I won't. The fresh dirt seems to do quite a bit. Now you could just ask why we don't hunt over the food plots, and occasionally we do. But what we've learned, especially, I mean, I've been hunting up here in northern Michigan for about 15 years now, and we hunted over bait for 10 years when it was legal. Never shot anything worthy. We did the food plots, had pretty good luck the first couple years, and then kind of started to turn into the same thing. And basically, what that told me, and what I've heard over and over again on videos and books and stuff, is you're just teaching the deer. You're letting them know where you're at. You're in a spot where the deer's not passing through. He's going to be there for at most 5 minutes, maybe. They're going to be there for half an hour, or they're going to that area for their nighttime feed. And how do you get out of that spot when they're there? Or what do you do when you got 10 eyes on you because you're hunting over a food plot, and then your buck's coming in from the opposite end? And it it's just it was a learning game, but that's what, at least what I've gathered and what I've come to believe, is hunting over stuff like that, at least a lot of the time, it's more teaching the deer where you are, what you're doing, rather than putting yourself in a good position to harvest a deer. But that's just my opinion as well. That's not to say I don't hunt food plots, just not very often. Thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoyed, don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, let me know what you think. Let me know what helps you guys, if you guys have any tips, and stay tuned. We're on to some birds. Turkey season's coming up. Hopefully we can get some good content for you guys. See you next time.